Hey everybody, it's Brock, and today's video is sponsored by Dream Team Forever. Make sure to check out our website as we just released the first ever All About tees that feature 30 fish and inverts from the series. Click the link in the description to get some for you and your family. Hey everybody, it's Brock, and we got a brand new episode of All About. Hope everybody's been having a wonderful week. Today we got a really highly requested but a very expensive tang to learn about today, or surgeonfish. This is all about the Sohal Tang. Now this fish is a very hardy fish, which makes people want to have it. They also have a really long lifespan, so if you want to have a fish that's going to last forever in your tank, this is a good one to get and grow up with. Prices on them: just for juveniles, you'll usually see them going for about $250, so they are a very expensive fish, and anything larger than that, the price just continually goes up for them. Some I was seeing online as just not even an adult yet were going for $400, so they can be a very pricey tang to get. Tank size, I would recommend about a 200 to 300 gallon tank. Those kind of tanks have about a 6 feet to 8 feet length on them. This is a very, very active fish. It swims back and forth in the tank constantly. They're very active, they're very fast, and they love to swim around. So giving them a long tank will keep them very happy. Now, if you did get a juvenile, you can come as small as 2 inches. And that will make you think, hey, I can put them in like a 120, which you can at the beginning. But I'm telling you, they grow pretty quick, and you'll eventually have to upgrade and have a larger tank for them to be happy in. Care level, I would say moderate. It's just with tangs, they usually take a couple more things to add to your routine. Nothing crazy though. Temper, they are semi-aggressive to aggressive. So most of the stories that you see about them, they usually lean more towards that aggressive side because they just kept bullying their fish. So we're going to talk about a couple things that can help you so that whenever you put them in your tank, you don't deal with so much bullying. Now, another thing with tangs is they typically become the kings and queens of the tank. Just in general, tangs going in, they're very territorial. They swim all over the tank and they think they own all of it. So adding additional fish after already having a tang in there, you'll definitely see them chase after them at the beginning and try to check them out, make sure they ain't messing with their spots and they're sticking to their own. And it's just to that point that you want to make sure that they don't end up actually bullying them, that it's stressing your new fish out. Reef safe, so yes, they are a great reef fish to have in your tank. They aren't going to mess with your corals or inverts, nothing like that. They're great algae eaters, so if you do have a hair algae problem in your tank, these guys will tear it up big time and fast. They pick at the rocks. You're going to see them picking at the rocks all day long. They love eating algae. And in the wild, you'll see them running along reefs, constantly speeding by super fast, picking on rocks, and then going on to the next one. Temperature, you want to keep it 72 to 78, DKH 8 to 12, pH 8.1 to 8.4, and salinity 1.020 to 1.025. Like I said, he's a very hardy fish, so keep all those in line, you'll be really good. Now, max size, we've seen these go 1.5 feet by the end of their lifespan, so it's a very large tang to have in your tank, so you definitely want to have plenty of room. Like I was saying, you cannot have a 4-foot tank and have a foot-long fish swimming around in there. He just will not have enough room. That's why we try to get people to get very large tanks when they're wanting a Sohal. Now, typically, it does take a few years for them to actually hit this full foot-long length in their lifespan. So you're looking at around, the third, and the 5th year actually hitting this max size. So at the beginning, you'll see it gradually, but eventually he will be a very large fish in your aquarium. And with a very large fish, that means they need more food, which in turn increases your bio load. So you definitely want to make sure you're sticking to those water changes with this big of a fish in your tank. Now, the colors you're going to see on these, they usually have a gray body with black stripes. The things that really catch people's eyes are the blue accents that run along the fins that on the top and the bottom. They really pop. Especially under LEDs, they look very pretty along the reef. Diet, so in a tank setting, they are omnivores. They heavily rely on algae though. You will definitely need to be feeding this guy algae at least once a day, sometimes multiple times a day, depending on how hungry they are. Usually you can determine if they are still hungry by putting algae on a clip, seeing how much he eats of it. Is he eating all of it within the hour? Usually, in the morning, he eats all of it. In the afternoon, go ahead and put some more on the clip. That way he's having a full belly each day, and his colors are going to look great, and he's going to stay away from all those diseases that tangs can get. Now, on the flip side, another thing you can do is you can actually let some algae grow in your tank. If you have some hair algae in different spots of your tank and you know you're going to get a Sohal, don't worry about trying to clean it up and get it out, because this guy will love it. That's natural. That's what he eats in the wild. He's going to love eating it in your tank too. Sometimes you just let that stuff grow, and he'll go in there and have something natural to eat, and he'll really like it, just in case he isn't going to the clip yet. Now, another thing is microalgae. These guys will eat the mess out of some microalgae. So if you can't and don't have natural growing hair algae in your tank, it's really clean, just go get you some microalgae too, because he'll see that as natural and he'll pick on that too. Now, on the flip side, of course, they are omnivores, so anytime you're feeding your fish some meaty food, whether you're feeding them brine shrimp, krill, or any kind of meaty types of food, this guy is going to come up there and eat with them. He's going to love it. He's going to eat on that stuff too, but it's definitely important that you are feeding this guy algae, because this is going to keep their health very high. It's going to keep their colors very bright, and you're just going to overall get a much happier and healthier tang in your tank. So origin, they do come from the Red Sea, and that's the only place they really come from. So a lot of times when you're looking online to actually get one of these, they can be hard to find. Most places they're actually out of stock. Compatibility, just ask. Definitely ask down in the comments, because it is a tricky situation with these Sohals. They can be very aggressive towards other tank mates, so you definitely want to house them with fish that can hold their own. A lot of times people have complained that their more peaceful fish in the tank are getting bullied whenever this guy's introduced. Or if they're introducing new fish after he's already in there, they're getting bullied really bad. There have been plenty of situations that I've seen where they did fine with other tanks. So body shape is a key factor and must be different among tangs, otherwise you risk them fighting. So with these Sohals, you're going to have the same shape as like clown tangs and orange shoulders tangs, but you could, however, have them in a tank with yellow tangs, sail fins, powder browns. If you look at their body shape, it's much more different than the Sohals. So if you are wanting to mix them with other tangs, you definitely want to add them at the same time. It always helps their aggression be a lot lower and helps them not fight over territory so bad. And then another thing you can do is actually add the Sohal last. Have all your tank mates already in the tank, and then the last fish be the Sohal. That way he goes into the tank thinking, okay, here's all the guys that are already there. I'm good. I'm not going to fight them. They've already been here. And it's just a real easy trick to get them to not be so aggressive towards your other fish. Sohals also do really well in fowler tanks. You know, those fish only with live rock, just big fish that people will usually put in the tank. They do well with those. They even do good in predator tanks because they are very tough. They have plenty of aggression on their own, and just the sheer size of them will make them not a target. So they do really well in all kinds of tanks. It's just really making sure you put them with the right tank mates. And if you do have trouble and you're thinking, I don't know if I can add them to my tank, please just ask me in the comments. I'll be glad to help. Now, when building a tank for a Sohal, the rock work should really be grand and open. And what I mean by that is you really want some overarching live rock, similar to like a bridge. So you have a pile of rock here and a pile of rock here, and then a big connector in the middle. That way he can swim below it, can swim above it. And also you want deep caves for hiding. This tang will go and hide if he's new to the tank. You know, they need a place to hide and also a place to sleep at night. So they'll go deep in those caves. And then, of course, also having that open room, because in the video you can tell he's a very active and very fast swimmer. So you don't want to crowd him in a tank that's just filled with live rock. You want just a big open area. Now, that's all I have today for the Sohal Tang. If you do have any additional questions, please leave them down in the comments or ask me on social media. I'll be happy to help you out. If you have experience with these Sohals, please leave it down in the comments too. You know, the more we know, the better we are to take care of them. Share what kind of fish you had in your tank that they did well with. But other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for stopping by. Make sure to like and subscribe to this video. Go check out our other videos. We got playlists for corals, we got fish, and we got other stuff. We got plenty of stuff out there for you to learn about, and I'm happy to help at any time. Hope you all have a good one, and I will see y'all later.